In a quiet town on the edge of a forgotten forest, people whispered about a house that no one dared to enter. The windows were always dark, the garden overgrown, and yet, some nights, a flicker of light could be seen inside. Children dared each other to get close, but even the bravest never stepped beyond the broken gate. The story began years ago when a family mysteriously vanished from that very house. No one heard screams. No one saw them leave one day. They were simply gone. All that remained were locked doors, untouched furniture, and a piano that sometimes played by itself in the dead of night. Locals swore they could hear voices if they walked too near. A woman crying softly, a child laughing, sometimes whispers calling out in a language no one understood. Those who ignored the warnings, tourists, thrill seekers, even a few reporters walked in, but almost none ever came out. The ones who did were never the same again. Their eyes carried fear that words couldn't describe, and their silence was louder than any scream. One boy, Daniel, decided he had to know the truth. His sister had disappeared years ago after daring to enter that house, and his heart carried nothing but anger and grief. Armed with only a flashlight and an old diary he had found in his sister's room, he crossed the gate one stormy evening. The air inside felt heavy, colder than outside. Dust floated in the beam of his light, and the silence pressed against his chest like a weight. The diary guided him deeper inside, each page describing shadows that moved on their own, doors that locked themselves, and a presence that never left the walls. As he read, he realized his sister had been writing warnings for him. But the last page ended mid-sentence, as though the pen had been ripped from her hand. Suddenly, the piano downstairs began to play, slow, haunting notes echoing through the halls. Daniel froze, but then a whisper came from the darkness, his sister's voice, calling his name. His legs moved before his mind could stop them. He ran down the stairs, the sound of footsteps following just behind him, though no one was there. At the bottom, the piano stopped. The room was empty. His flashlight flickered, and for a moment, the walls seemed to breathe. A shadow darker than night stretched across the floor, reaching for him. And then, he saw her, his sister, standing in the corner, eyes hollow, face pale, lips trembling as she whispered, "You shouldn't have come." The door slammed shut behind him. The light went out, and the house, once silent, was now alive with voices.